Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to today's episode of our podcast, where we explore the fascinating crossroads between faith and fact, revelation and reason, the Quran and modern science. Today's topic is one that has intrigued scholars, scientists, and believers alike. What are the scientific facts in the Quran that align with discoveries made centuries later? Let's explore 5 powerful connections between Quranic verses and modern science. And remember, the Quran is not a science textbook, but a divine message. Yet, what it says about nature, biology, astronomy, and human development is often far ahead of its time. Point 1. Embryology, human development in the womb. In the Quran, Surah Al-Mu'minun, 23:12-14, it says, "We created man from an extract of clay. Then we made him as a drop in a place of settlement, firmly fixed. Then we made the drop into an alaka, leech-like substance. And then we made the alaka into a mudga, chewed-like lump." This description of embryonic development was revealed more than 1,400 years ago, long before the invention of microscopes or the field of embryology. What's fascinating is the word alaka, which can mean a leech, a blood clot, or something that clings. Modern embryologists, using microscopes, have found that the human embryo at that stage does indeed resemble a leech in both shape and function, and it does cling to the uterine wall. This alignment between ancient scripture and modern embryology amazed Dr. Keith Moore, a professor of embryology in Canada, who said the description was remarkably accurate. Point 2. The expanding universe. In Surah Ad-Dariyat, 51:47, the Quran states, "And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed, we are its expander." This idea of the expanding universe is now a central concept in modern cosmology. The Big Bang theory, widely accepted among scientists, proposes that the universe began from a single point and has been expanding ever since. But this wasn't known until the 1920s, when Edwin Hubble observed red shifts in distant galaxies, indicating that they were moving away from us. How could a 7th century book mention expansion, a concept confirmed only in the last century? Point 3. Barriers between salt and fresh water. In Surah Ar-Rahman, 55:19-20, the Quran says, "He released the 2 seas meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier they do not transgress." And again, in Surah Al-Furqan, 25:53, "It is He who has released simultaneously the 2 bodies of water, one fresh and sweet, and one salty and bitter, and He placed between them a barrier and prohibiting partition." Modern oceanography confirms the presence of haloclines, barriers formed by differences in temperature, salinity, and density that prevent the mixing of salt and fresh water in places like where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Mediterranean Sea. This phenomenon was discovered with advanced instruments, but the Quran refers to it over 1,000 years ago. Point 4. And we made the sky a protected ceiling, but they are turning away from its signs. We now know that the Earth's atmosphere plays a crucial role in protecting life. It blocks harmful rays from the sun, burns up meteors before they can hit the ground, and traps warmth to maintain a stable climate. Without this protective covering, Earth would be uninhabitable. The phrase, protected ceiling, is a remarkably accurate description, not poetic, but scientific. Point 5. We made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe? Biology confirms that all living organisms are primarily made of water. In fact, the human body is about 70% water, and water is essential for cell structure and biochemical processes. More strikingly, scientific theories about the origin of life suggest that it began in primordial water environments, like deep-sea hydrothermal vents. For the Quran to emphasize this fact so clearly is a powerful reflection of how divine wisdom aligns with observable reality. So what do these connections tell us? That the Quran isn't a science manual, but it presents knowledge in a way that challenges the intellect and encourages reflection. From embryology to astrophysics, from oceanography to atmospheric science, the Quran presents truths that align beautifully with what we are only now discovering through modern tools. For believers, this strengthens faith. For seekers, it invites curiosity. And for scientists, it sparks awe. If science is the study of the created world, then the Quran may just be a window into the mind of the Creator. Thank you for listening. If this inspired you, be sure to follow the podcast for more deep dives into science, spirituality, and the unknown. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and stay connected.